Here's a question. Can seeds sprout in winter? Hey, what if I need more space indoors for my seedlings? Will my cat help me? Is celery, let me ask you this, is this the slowest growing plant in the world? And will I ever figure out how to use this machine today on What the Homestead? All right, so first of all, I'm trying to grow carrots, and I haven't had much luck with them. I planted some seeds like last year. This is probably like in, I don't know, August, or maybe I don't know, it was later than that. And I got some carrots that kind of sprouted up like these guys, and they just haven't gotten big. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to leave them in over the winter. And then I saw online someone said you can plant carrots in winter. And so it was like December. I'm like, there's no way this is going to work. But I got some seeds, and I went outside, and you know how tiny they are? They're invisible. Look. Oh my God, it's so small. Okay. And I was like, I'm just going to plant. I don't care. It's December. If they don't grow, whatever. My carrots aren't growing anyway. So I went out there and I just got the dirt ready, and I tried to, just like sprinkle some carrots in there. And I'm just like, whatever. It's like a handful of carrot seeds. If maybe they'll come back, in the spring anyway, like that. So I got out the hose and I watered it down, and I'm talking seriously, this was December, and we get into January, and we're going to have snow. We have snow in January, and I just thought, there's no way anything's going to grow in that. But lo and behold, you won't believe it, they actually started to sprout up in January. Look at these little tiny little carrot sprouts, and they're actually out there growing still, even though they got snowed on. We had snow that lasted about 3 days, which is rare for here because we don't get a lot of snow where I'm in zone 8A. We just don't get a lot of snow here, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully those carrots are going to grow bigger. Then I was like, I've got so many seedlings indoors. It's like getting out of control. So I had gotten one of these racks before, and I really like it. It has the lights built into it, and I have all my seedlings, and they're just like overflowing. So my wife went out and she purchased me another one. So here I am building it with the help of my trusty cat, this little kitten. And here's how the lights just get put on with some little zip ties. And there's a little controller. It's got a timer, so you can set it for like it can go off in like 6 hours, I think, 9 hours and 12 hours, something like that. And it also has different settings on the lights. So it can be like bright, medium bright, super, super bright. I just leave it on super, super bright. Let's put the lights on. There you go. Whoa, it's like a little flash going off from a nuclear explosion there. And I'm just going to load this bad boy up with all my little seedlings. Right across from it is the other one. So there's one on one side and one on the other side, and then the window's there. So I'm getting some sunlight. And I just kind of move them around. I shift the plants from one to the other, so they're all kind of getting equal amounts of natural sun along with the extra light, because I find that light helps the plants grow. But stuff like broccoli and stuff doesn't get that leggy. They need a lot of light so they don't get leggy. So anyway, I also planted last year celery. I'm just going to show you my whole celery deal. This was late in the fall, and I was like, well, I don't think they're going to last through the winter. Like the carrots, which are doing fine. So I brought them back in, and those were seeds I started in that pot. And this is one I started from a celery like that, where I just kind of went to the store and bought celery, and I just cut the bottom off, and I put it in just a littlest tiny little bit of water, and just a little bit on the bottom, because if you put too much in, it rots. But if you just put a little bit in, it'll start to root on the bottom like that, and then the leaves are coming up, and you can actually plant this in dirt. So what I do is I get myself a little dirt here. I'm just going to pop it in there. But before I do that, I'm just going to kind of take it to the sink, and I want to peel off the rotted parts, because I don't want that will just rot in the dirt, So I'm just going to I rinse it under some water and try to just peel it off and just get off as much of the rot as I can, and still leaving the roots and the green stuff at the top, which is cool. So then I take it back, stick it in the dirt. Like here's what I got growing, just to show you. You can see right in the middle, it's going to grow up from there. So I got that stage 1, and then the stage 2 is like when I get it into some little dirt. And then stage 3 actually is like this guy here, and he's been growing since last summer. They're slowest growing plants in the world. So I've got them in all different stages right now. Eventually, hopefully I'm going to get some celery. I've tried it from seeds, I've tried it from the grocery store, and I've got them growing, but they're just not really like edible size. Anyway, we purchased this Nesco. We were doing a lot of canning, and we were doing it just in the water. And a lot of the meat sauce that Kim makes, has meat in it. So we kind of read a pressure cooker would whatever this thing is, pressure cooker thingamabobby, would be better to do. But you know what? The instructions weren't really good. They didn't really tell you how long to leave them in there to pressure cook. So I'm just like making stuff up here. I'm like, I don't know, 70 minutes, I guess, is good. If anybody knows how to use this thing, please leave a comment below. But I did it. I put it in there, and there's two steps, kind of like you let it kind of get to a point where it's warmed up, and then you close this little knob on the top, and then it's supposedly at that point the steam really won't get out, and the pressure will build, and it'll hold it all in there. And after the 70 minutes, the timer went off, and everything seemed sealed up pretty good. So I pulled out opened it up, of course. Careful, don't let the steam out. I let it cool down for a little while, but then pulled them out, and we were good to go. So I guess we're gonna keep using it. That's what the Homestead.